Welcome back to Senior World Radio. Jim Orboss joining me here this morning. I'm Glenn Howard. We're talking about security, self-protection with Paul Conradi, who is the owner of the Edmunds Security, Inc. More importantly, though, he is the developer of a new website called Crimeseen, and that is spelled S-E-E-N, Crimeseen.com.
Paul, before the break, we were talking about the fact that this covers everything that's going on out there, whether it's a crime scene or whatever, and actually that's the main purpose of this. But also, there's a process here to getting on, and one of the things we talked about is the fact that you've used technology as a marketing weapon, and everything that we're doing here, as well as past cases, is on YouTube. This radio show is on YouTube, and we want to make sure that people will follow this and can get on. And if we'll go through the process of getting on, what they're going to see, you've already told us that they're not going to see anything but just the website. But once they get on there, if they want to join this, how do they go about doing that? Can you show us that if they're looking at their computer right now?
Yeah, as we logged on here a few minutes ago, I took you through putting in a handle and a password, and then you're going to have to do the CAPTCHA, which is keeping the robots off of our site.
And that handle could be anything, your own name or anything you want it.
Yeah, a lot of people use something that the only time any information of you personally is going to show up on Crime Scene is when you post a report or when you comment, if you're logged in, when you comment. And obviously this is all about anonymity. So if you're not logged in and you comment to one of the crimes providing tips, you're going to be an anonymous user at that point. So when you're logged in, your handle shows up. When you're not logged in, there's lots of things you can do here, but you cannot file a report at that point. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, once you get through that first process of your handle and your password, you're going to be at a dashboard. And when you're at the dashboard, that's when you can create a client location right there on the left, right in the middle of that dashboard, and click on Create a Client Location. Establish your location either by your address or you can drop a pin on the Google map. And then you're going to go to the bottom and it says create a patrol radius. And I like to be liberal. The one time I like people to be liberal there, Glenn. No, I like to be liberal in that diameter because we want to see as much as we can where it's not going to be a hindrance to us. We don't want to get all kinds of notifications. That's why we're localized. But any time that you feel like you're getting too much traffic, all you have to do is edit that down to a smaller diameter. So now you remember, now you're going to be delivered notifications as they happen. You mentioned earlier that this is not just for video. This is for this is for lost pets. Imagine if your whole neighborhood's on this and your pet's on the loose. You can post a picture of your pet and say, hey, I need help finding my pet. It's not going to go to the whole world. It's going to go only to those people participating in your area. If somebody's missing, an elderly person's missing from a home, which we see quite often, silver alerts, that's another awesome way to use the site. If you've lost something in your neighborhood, there's just a multitude of ways to use this. And again, it's not like an Amber Alert that's going to go to all the mass media, to everyone. It's just a quick email notification that you can review. And if you know information, you respond to it, as we talked, anonymously or with your handle.
Nice network or information exchange for a local area. What a great idea.
Paul, what does it cost to join this?
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, Glenn. It's absolutely free. When this is delivered to you, again, we're all about geo-based information. So when the crimes are delivered to you, everybody says, Paul, how do you make money if this is free for everyone? Well, unfortunately, I think the alarm companies, the security companies, are the only ones that profit from crime. I really haven't been able to put maybe the glass shops fixing windows, maybe the door companies a little bit, but Edmunds Security is giving back to the community by paying Crime Scene to be on the banner on the top of the page. So everyone in the Oklahoma City area north of I-40 will see the Edmunds Security banner, and Edmunds Security pays for that banner. Everyone south of I-40 in Oklahoma City, another alarm company, a good friend of mine that owns Comtech, Zeke Lay, he is on the south side of I-40, and he owns Crime Scene notifications south of I-40. And we're getting lots of, in fact, Finland just contacted me, and they want to launch Crime Scene in Finland. What brought all that about are these new flash mobs. So anyway, it's amazing how the word's getting out there and how we're getting some traction, and that's what Crime Scene's
Jim,
about.
in light of the fires we've had this past week, if a lot of people in those areas would have had cameras pointing out to the road, if arsons are involved in this, and I hope they're not, I don't think we know yet, but the ability to catch people who are coming and going, to have that information and to share that with others in your neighborhood, to be able to see what's going on. Paul, that's just a terribly valuable asset, I think.
Glenn, it's funny that you brought this one for the road up straight to the arson category, because a friend of mine that is an arson investigator for Oklahoma City, we do video and intrusion at their community pool. And when I showed him the Crime Scene platform, he was absolutely amazed. He said, Paul, you don't know how many arsons we've solved by going door to door where we see cameras and asking for that video. Unfortunately, that's what they have to do, is go door to door and physically look for that video. So how cool would it be to go to a website that people participating on the One for the Road program are right there? If you're a One for the Road participant and you put that picture up that your camera's videotaping, and someone wants to contact you with particulars of what they're looking for, they're going to click on your contact icon. Now you're going to be communicating as if you were on eBay. Nobody knows each other's email addresses. Nobody knows who each other is. But when you put the particulars of what you're concerned about, the person that registered that camera wants to help. They want to keep crime. They want to keep arson. They want to keep things at arm's length from their neighborhood. And that's why they're participating, because if they can help solve a crime, they've got the camera, they've got the video. If they review the video and they see what you're looking for, then all they have to do is create a video clip and email it right back to you, and you're holding a clue to the crime that you were involved with.
Jim, some of our listeners are members of neighborhood associations. I think a lot of neighborhood associations ought to get together and get everybody to log on to Crime Scene and be able to share that information with each other. What a valuable asset that would be.
Absolutely. And one of the things that, as I said, makes this available is this developing technology of everything being pulled together for us to take advantage of this communication in this site in the neighborhood. I remember here it was last year, someone was writing a book about the future, one of the Futures books, and they were talking about that in the future most neighborhoods were going to be gated, and that the ones that weren't gated would have security systems that are similar to what you're talking about for protection, if nothing else, on every level. This is the beginning of that, and I can understand that's going to spread very, very quickly, because I think that all of us have a propensity to band together in a particular neighborhood and help each other out. I think that's just part of us. That's what we are. It gives us a perfect tool for that.
Well, that's exactly right. If we've got a minute, I want to get people looking at the search bar. I want to show you how this is going to help crime all the way around. If you click on search, click at the top on the search bar. In fact, on every page, on the left-hand side of the page, there is a search bar. And I don't recall the serial number on this particular watch, but I want you to type in Rolex, R-O-L-E-X. And by typing in Rolex, let's pretend that that is the serial number, and I'm sorry I don't have that in front of me right now. But let's type that in and push search. And imagine that your Rolex was stolen, and the person that stole it walked into a pawn shop and said, hey, I've got this watch. My grandfather passed away, and he left me this watch, and I'm interested in pawning it or selling it. The pawnbroker says, well, let me see what I can get for that. Well, he's standing on the other side of the counter looking at his computer, so this person doesn't know what's going on. And where it says home intrusion, click on home intrusion. That's called a hit. That's what the pawnbroker, all he did was go to Crime Scene and type in Rolex. Actually, he typed in the serial number. If there was 100 Rolexes on the site that had been stolen, it would bring up those 100 Rolex. Now, when you click on home intrusion, it's going to bring up that crime. I want you to review that crime. It brings up the map. I want you to scroll down and look at the videos, look at the pictures. If you know that guy, it's worth $500 to you. This was around 63rd and Council It was an $18,000 loss, and we're looking for this guy. So review that while we're at the break.
Jim, this is incredible. I have so much enjoyed having Paul with us this morning. I think Crime Scene is one of those services that everybody needs to take advantage of. I wish we had a lot more time, but hey, we're running out of time today. I'm Glen Howard, Senior World Radio. Jim Orbaugh's been with me today, talking with Paul Conrady with the Edmund Security, located 412 South Broadway up there in Edmond, but Crimeseen.com. And again, that's spelled SEEN. A free service. Everybody needs to take advantage of it. Hey, it's been so great being with you on this Sunday morning. Thanks for joining us, Paul. Thanks for coming in. God bless. Be kind to one another, and we'll look forward to seeing you this time next week. Bye-bye now.